see what up though.
Hi everyone, I'm Sheila Brown and welcome to the Flexxy Brown Show. With me, I have Miss Tina Nguyen, now Mrs. Tina Nguyen Middleton. Hey. I was just talking to her. I have not seen her since this pandemic. By the time this airs, we would probably be over the shelter in place. But so this is the Flexxy Brown Show, and I want to talk about you. Now I've known you forever. I've seemed like I've known her my whole life, but it's just been. Has it been 8 years?
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Well,
because
close to 8 years.
that's right, because Ambrose brought you in because you haven't always, he got you into competing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So what were you doing before you were competing?
Well, when I met him, I was only 20. So
Okay.
I was working and we had met and I got into the whole fitness thing, but I wasn't really like serious about it. I
Yeah.
wasn't taking it to another notch. So when I met him, it kind of motivated me because I saw what he was doing and I was really interested in doing that. And I never really had a passion in anything outside of work. So then I found it as my new passion. So, and I wanted to do a show and I didn't know where to start. Well, luckily he got me into it the right way,
Right.
introducing me to the right people like yourself. And then the rest is history. So,
And you started in bikini?
no, figure.
You started in the figure,
Yes.
okay, because she's always had the most beautiful legs. So you've always loved training legs. Apparently that's like your favorite body part to train, or is it?
Well, I didn't, my legs weren't as big as they are now.
Right.
But you don't know what your strong body part is or what grow the fastest or versus the others until when you start training.
Mm-hmm.
So like I started training with Ambrose and then we started doing legs twice a week and then they started growing really fast.
Got it.
So then he backed it down to just once a week and now we train maybe every other week. We hardly train them at all anymore,
Yes.
Just because of the way how figure is and because the way how the judges want the certain look for figure.
Mhm.
So I kind of back down from training legs as much as I used to anymore.
Okay. So how long did it take you to go from your first NPC amateur show to getting your pro card?
So I posed with you before my first show, which was the Ronnie Coleman.
Mhm.
At that show, I did it in 2013. I got second to Andrea Calhoun.
Right.
And
right.
I took a year off. I didn't do any of the shows until next year. I did the same exact show, which is the Ronnie Coleman.
Mhm.
And I got first and overall at that show. And so I took 6 months break and then I did nationals and I won my pro card. So
Now that's very unusual. And I think that, most people think that they can do a show, win, go to the nationals, get their pro card, boom, and that's it. And you're almost like a one-show wonder. You did 2 shows, but you did it good. Even though you qualified even the first show, you still took some time out, fixed some whatever critiques the judges gave you, did it again, killed it, went to the nationals,
yeah.
and and that's really, top 5 would have been the norm, So you, right out the bat, just getting your pro card, the first national show, that's amazing.
Yeah. I actually won that show and you took the picture.
Yes. Yes, I did. Yes,
so
I
you
did.
were there, and I honestly didn't really expect. I wanted to win. Obviously, nobody
Right,
wanted
of
to come in
course.
there and lose or getting second.
Yes.
But I think we did that show together,
Mhm.
and he didn't do as good. But then I actually won the show, so we got something out of it,
Yeah,
for the
of
trip.
course. Of course.
So we like to compete, not all almost like together, just because dieting and training is not the best thing for couples.
Mhm.
With the sport is really selfish, right?
Yes.
Everything is all about your time, your meals, your prep, how you look. Not always you spend as much time to somebody else as you would to yourself if you were prepping. So we pretty much been together the whole time since we've been competing from amateur, and he got his pro card after I don't even know how many years he's been trying.
Yes.
And I think you were there. I don't know. Remember.
Yeah.
It was a North American. I wasn't there, but
Yes.
it was like a huge relief on my part.
Tina, that is the hardest thing. She went pro. You went pro before
Yeah.
Ambrose.
Right.
And Ambrose has been doing it forever.
Yes.
So even though y'all love each other and he supports you and you support him, there's still got to be on your end. If you're a good woman, like I know you are, it still bothers you that he hadn't got his pro card yet.
Right.
And he's a good man, so he was so proud of you, but in the back of his head, I'm sure, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that he's like, I want to get my pro card too.
Yeah.
So I admire y'all as a couple because I've been with y'all since before you got married
Mm-hmm.
to when you got married. I was at the wedding.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's hard to juggle because you have a career.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a career in competing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then you pretty much kind of run the household.
Yeah.
So you really have 3 jobs.
Yeah.
You know, so I know it's kind of tough because, and you just got married, and are y'all thinking about having kids or?
I mean,
so that add on to the plate.
We're open to that. You know, it's we've been together for a long time, so it's the time is coming. You know, and I didn't want to do it before I got my pro card, before I graduated, or before I actually went full blown into my career.
Yes.
Because it just felt like it was just too much on my plate, and I didn't want that additional stress on top of me.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you think you can do it all, right? You've been doing it for so long, and it's like, oh, it's not a problem if I take another job or whatever. But the more that I've been doing my job in my actual career outside of fitness, it's been adding on a lot more stress on my plate. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to get to a point where I feel like I'm ready. Got it. So I think I'm at the point where I feel like we're ready. We just bought a house. Mm-hmm. We got married.
I heard. Yes, congratulations on that.
Thank you. So that's out of the way, and I got a new job about 9 months ago, and I love it. You know.
No,
so,
what do you do now?
Well, I'm still doing the same thing. I've been in multifamily business since when I was 18.
Okay.
So it's about 10 years now, almost 10 years now, and I just got on with a new company, and
you love it.
I love it. I love them.
Awesome.
So I'm going to be here for a while, so that gives me more stability to do my personal life.
Right.
When you have your career and job kind of established. Yes. That's kind of how I feel at this point.
Now, do you also do personal training?
We do. Well, it's mostly Ambrose.
Okay.
Online training. He takes on a few clients, training person. It's not a main gig, just because it's very time consuming. Right. But I do have he does it on the side just because he's a real estate broker, so he works from home. Mm-hmm. You obviously know that. And I have to come into the office Monday through Friday.
Got it. So it's kind of tough for, Yes.
And so after that, I have to go home, go to the gym for 2 or 3 hours. I don't know. Yes. And then go home, cook, and then sleep and get ready for work the next following day. So, I mean, it's just ongoing. And before that, I was in school full time. So, besides, work, I had to go to school. I had to take online classes, attend meetings. And I was in Phi Theta Kappa society. So I was doing that, and I was volunteering. So it was a lot.
You have a full plate.
Yeah. I've always had a full plate.
So, you have a great following on social media. Mm-hmm. And I know there are so many people that they are trying to attain the followers that you have. Was it like overnight, or did you work hard at it, or did you just market yourself, or people just come to you? How would somebody start with making a presence known in social media?
So when I got my page, which was right when I was doing the Nationals show in 2014-ish, Instagram wasn't big back in the day. So it was just more like taking selfies, tagging people, and whatnot. It wasn't a social media outlet for you to, get paid for sponsored posts, right? It wasn't for you to sell stuff on there. It wasn't like that back in the day. It was more like connecting with people. And the more that Instagram evolves and Facebook and everything else, it became more of a business tool. So instead of connecting with your friends and your peers, it's more like you can sell your business on there now. So since then, you've had more people coming out with different contents, spending a lot more time to really put out something that the following want to see and something that could go viral. But at the same time, some of those people could lose who they are or where they started because they're trying to please the crowd. They're trying to please the audience, right? For me, it's always been kind of the same. I just post whatever I feel like I want to post. along with my sponsor posts, which is I do about 2 times a week for Bang Energy. But I kind of just cut out everything else as far as like clothing sponsors and all that, because I feel like it was just too over the top.
Yes.
I didn't want to turn my page into a sponsor page. It was more, okay, I'll do personal and I'll do sponsor, just because it's great to have someone who who supports you and who's willing to invest in your brand to market for their brand. But at the same time, you guys can have that mutual benefit. And it really does help with, having monthly supplements,
Yes, of course.
And monetary, support for shows.
This is an expensive hobby.
It is very expensive.
Yeah, competing is an expensive hobby.
Right. People don't realize how much it really costs, and I'm all about giving out free tips and helping my following, with diet tips and workout tips, because I post a lot of workout videos and everything. But at the same time, again, with the time, then the experience that we have gained and the money that we have spent to get to where we are now, I think it's only fair if you get some sort of mutual benefits from a sponsor post, Of
course.
So, I mean, that's something that I always try to tell people, like, look, I understand it's not something that you might want to see every day, but at the same time, please understand that, this is not free. Like, we don't get all of the things that we do now from free money. Right. So it's something that you have to really, kind of, gauge on who you really want to work with and who truly is somebody that you feel like you can trust their brand and push their brands to your following without, pushing out products that you would never want to use. Right.
So believe in the brand that you want to be sponsored by.
Right.
Not just because to get a sponsor.
Yeah. I mean, people with different, it's going to offer you different packages as far as like sponsorship, right? But at the same time, do you use it? Can you tell people why you use it? Can you tell people why you actually like it? Me and Ambrose, we use Bang all the time. I use it in the morning when I go to work. Sometimes whenever I need a kick, I don't drink coffee a lot just because coffee doesn't really do as much for me as Bang does, and it's a different flavor.
And I love Bang, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It has so many flavors. The cotton candy, I love. This is not a Bang commercial, but I love me some Bang. Yes.
But it's just a way of me telling my following, look, like, I like this stuff, and if you try it, you'll like it too. And a lot of people do try it and they do really like it, and some people don't. I mean, that's just part of it. But I don't ever try to promote anything that I don't think that I would personally like or my following like.
Yes. So then it's an honor for you to be an ambassador for Bang, because they know that it's something that you actually believe in. And people can see that in your post. Because even when I go to your house, whoever you're sponsored by, you can tell that you love it because it's all in your house and you're actually using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I notice also how careful you are on social media as far as, like, there's certain subjects that you tend to stay away from. And I think that's a good idea because, there's a freedom of speech, but then, there's a time and place to talk about that. Yeah. And you've been very good in staying away from negative energy and posting anything that could potentially harm somebody. So, because, I always watch and I always follow you. I might not click on it because, we have a different kind of relationship, but I'm always following you, and you've always been an inspiration. I always want people, when they get their pro card, to give back. It's not just me now. People are looking up to you. And so you giving away free advice and doing workout videos and doing appearances. Sometimes you go do appearances and not charge anybody. That lets people know that you have a soft side and that you're genuine. It's not all about you asking money. Money helps you, but you give back. And I'm just a big fan of people when they get their pro card to be an inspiration to people who are trying to climb up. Help them on up, fix their crowns. So.
Yeah, but because you're right, because, I've seen a lot of people who go from amateur to pros and then they think they're a big deal now.
Right.
They start charging people all kind of stuff, started being scammy,
Right.
Taking money and not doing what they're supposed to be doing and whatever. But I'm not going to even get to the subject because it's always like that all over the world. In every industry there. It's just not just the bodybuilding crowd. Yeah. But as far as staying politically correct. I believe that just because you carry the title professional, you really have to act like a professional. You can't just carry that title and then say things that you want to say without thinking of bigger picture.
Right.
But I think the part of me and how I process my thoughts before I post anything is because I do have a full-time career in management. And I work outside of the fitness industry. So it's a much bigger picture, bigger audience that I have to connect with rather than just bodybuilding. And I don't want my brand that I'm sponsored by, or even myself, to be coming off as someone who's not professional, who doesn't think of other people when I voice my opinion.
Right.
So I stay a lot away from all of those sensitive subjects that I don't want to speak of. And same way with pictures. I do a lot of photo shoots and I post bikini photos, but it's never getting to the point where if my boss sees my picture, it's not going to be a good look, right?
Right.
So I try to stay, yes, I do bodybuilding and I do fitness, but at the same time, I am still a professional. So
exactly. Yeah. So if you had anything to say to the young Tina from where you are today, what advice would you give yourself when you just, any mistake that you made that you would change if you ever had a second chance?
Honestly,
relationships, circle of people.
Your circle of people always gonna evolve.
Yeah.
Because the more you grow, the more mature you get, you're gonna weed out some people that don't have the same goals.
That's true.
So I'm every single person that I've met in my life, I feel as they've always contributed something into my life. Either it's a lesson or, it's something that I can learn from.
Right.
I don't think that I know everything. So every person I meet is always teach me something new, right?
Yes.
So I'm always open to learning. And that's one thing about me. The thing about me that I would like to change is being stubborn.
Okay.
And the fact that I put a lot of pressure on myself to be successful. I think I can take my time on doing certain things rather than just trying to crunch everything in at the same time.
Yeah.
Whether getting my pro card within 6 months or getting to management within 2 years, those kind of things that I can actually take a little bit more time to spread it out and not put so much stress and pressure on myself.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, it was a pleasure having you here. And I have all of Tina's information or contact information at the bottom of the screen below. I think Jamison's going to put it down here or up here. But any questions you have regarding her, you can follow her on social media and we'll get that to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And hashtag I'm Sheila. We're out. Peace.